My son, forget not my law, but let thy heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the I am with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the I am, and depart from evil, and it shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the I am with thy substance, with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of the I am, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the I am loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man who findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof of fine gold. She is more precious than ruby, and all things thou can desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are of pleasantness, and her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. The I am by wisdom has founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life to thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then thou shalt walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou layest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lay down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the I am be thy covenant, shall be thy confidence, and shall be thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow we give when thou hast it by thee. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with the man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Envy not the oppressor, nor choose none of his ways. For the forward is abomination to the I am, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the I am is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitations of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorner, and he giveth grace to the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. Proverbs chapter 3. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. All praises, all praises, all praises, all praises, all praises, all glory to the name of the Most High, even the great I am. Yes, some of you call him Tata Zambi, Sinini Zini, the Heya. Oh, Yahweh, Yahuwah. Oh, we thank the Most High for all that he have done. Yes. But in all you're getting, get understanding. Don't try to figure God out, but know him. And the only way you can know him is through his laws, statutes, ordinances, and commandments. Yes, yes, yes. You're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. And we thank God for you, you, and you. Yes, today is a beautiful day. Well, it's summertime. We know that much. In the other part of the world, or from those of you who are in Africa and Europe, on Should I say the other side of the Atlantic, we'll put it that way. But either way, God is to be glorified. It may be becoming evening to where you are, but here it is still morning. And we thank God that he has caused us to even bless his holy name one more day, to rise up and just glorify his holy name. Yes, we know if nobody else loves us, we know that God has our best interests at heart. And that if we keep those things that he tells us and that we have agreed to through our ancestors that we will do, he will show us all manner of blessings, wives, children, whatever have you, whatever you can handle, he knows that you can handle. God will give you that thing. Yes, monies. You know, one thing about it, it's mighty funny how other religions can prosper, but yet Christianity makes you poor. I don't understand that, but Christianity does make you poor. And even if you follow the way of the Most High, even in following the way of Adam, Methuselah, Enoch. See, they call it the Abrahamic faith. No, this is not the Abrahamic faith. God been there before Abraham. Adam believed on God before because he was created by the Most High. He saw the Most High face to face. He was pure. He knew what God looked like. Until the day that he sinned. Then he saw God no more. And with those things that we read in the book of Genesis and all these translations, we have to take them with a grain of salt, because translation doesn't necessarily mean that's the way they saw it. It doesn't mean what they saw. They're just trying to give you a roundabout glimpse of what they... See, this is how you got to read the scripture. They're just trying to describe in your language to your understanding of what they saw and what they heard. This is the translator's job. And then you got those who have written it down, describing to what they understood and how they understood these things. So you have these things you have to sit up there and figure out for yourself. See, this is the folly of the heathen. Heathen can be anybody. Children of Judah or children of Jacob or whatever you want to call it, can be anybody. But the fact is that they do not understand God, neither know him. But his laws are evident and absolute. There's no loopholes in the law of the Most High. No, there are only loopholes in the law of man to protect his elite, his rich. Find a way out in case he's being accused of something that he can excuse himself. But sometimes we see, even in the U.S. and other countries, they just downright deny it. Knowing the truth, knowing they're lying, just because he's one of us and not you. This is what they're saying. This is why they do this. The wrath of the Most High is written in their heart from birth toward those who would disobey his commandments. But yet they have their sentence. You have to realize, look what's going on with them now. See, they have their sentence. Why worry about what's going to happen to them? You protect yourself. You do what God have you to do. But the fact is, these that are destined for children of wrath or children of destruction, they have their sentence already before the Most High. They're already damned from birth. Because of what? Their surrounding, born in sin, shapen in iniquity. Yes. Now, we're also in the book of 2 Chronicles. Yes, book of 2 Chronicles. And also, we want to say, yes, we thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning, those of you that have been with us here and there's about, and those of you who have just subscribed, as well as those of you who are about to subscribe, or just viewing, or just managed to scroll through and happen to see this. We thank God for you too, letting you know that there is one God, one Creator, and you got to find your way out. Is that to the Creator's detriment? No. It's to yours, because he knows the heart of every man and woman. Yes, all praises to the Most High. Now, we're in the book of 2 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles chapter 33. Yes, as we're getting to the books of where captivity have happened. We're getting to the point where Israel is about to go into the whole of Israel, from the northern tribes to the southern tribes, are about to go into the whole thing. God is just giving it up. The promise he made to David, if your seed keep my commandments, statutes, and ordinances and laws. See, he said, then they will never lack a king sitting on the throne of David. See, you got to realize, you see, now the scripture, sometimes when people begin to translate or they're saying, they might have missed something, but God doesn't miss anything. He said that in the beginning to David. So therefore, that stands. See, now you get into some of these scriptures, which you get into Chronicles, where they might say that God promised. No, you forgot the rest of it. There is a condition to every promise of God. There is a condition. So you got the Christians that say their God is unconditional. That's a lie. That is a downright lie, and is given to you by a spirit destined to take you away with those who use this to enslave even the children of Jacob. That is the Deuteronomy 28 mindset. We're better than you. You're to be slaves. We take what you have because we have guns. We have bigger missiles, bigger bombs. But now if you see it, many of them are starting to go down. This is a time for you to fear, O Jacob. It's time for you to see that God is not playing, not with you, neither has he played with them. He used them. They thought they were using him, but he used them. If it's not only to just get one or two or three, because even that mountain that Daniel saw, that stone that was hewn out the mountain that crushed that idol. See, God's plan, God never loses. You lose. But either way, let's get into it. We're still talking about the king. Hezekiah, he died. Okay, Hezekiah died because he got pride against the Most High. It's so easy to take the blessings of the Most High upon ourselves, to think that we have done it ourselves. It's very easy to do that. And we have to beware lest any root of pride come springing up when we know this thing is of the Most High. It is not of us. I mean, from the little things of a childbirth to marriage to having that love that lasts forever. This thing is from the Most High. And if you acknowledge the Most High in all thy ways, he will direct your path, according to the proverb we just read. Now you have to realize, even in Proverbs, we have to realize that God, this man is talking from his experiences, of what he experienced of God and what he's telling his son. When he says, my commandments, God's commandments become his commandments, he's telling his son to do this. And he's using wisdom as a nurturer. That's why he says her. When we say her, we're saying nurture. When we say, oh, the mother Africa, we're saying her, she nurtures. In other words, it's nurturing us life. But when we speak of strength and authority and law, we say him. See, heathen don't get this. Ignorant folks do not get this. They rather sit up there and try to attribute it to their agenda. You have to watch the agenda people. If you can, look back into their history and find out how they're talking. Why did they come to this summation of what they're saying? Why are they doing this? Now, in 2 Chronicles chapter 33, Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. That's quite a long time. So you can understand why some, should I say, of these countries that have presidents that have been there for a long time, and it seems like it'll never end, but then all of a sudden you'll get a good one that will rule, and the people will rejoice and be blessed of the Most High. Yes, even, should I say, the AES. God have pushed out all those people and put in those who would do what is right toward the people. This is God's blessing towards you. Mali, Burkina Faso, yes, Togo, even all those countries that would leave, whether they be men or women, God gives you righteous people that will do what is right. He said, but he did that which was evil in the sight of the I am, like unto the abominations of the heathen. What he means, Canaanites and Egyptians. These are the people that they're most used to, because this is the lands where they're sandwiched in between. Whom the I am cast out before the children of Israel, for he built again the high places which Hezekiah his father had broken down. He reared up the altars of Balaam and made groves and worshipped all the hosts of heaven and served them. In other words, he put God on the back burner. I got to see, just like those of you who are Christians, I got to have a man that I know that he existed. I can't think of a God that I never saw, or I can't verify his existence, is what some of you are saying. Because we know that the new 27 books are furious books. And nefarious books. Yes, they are. Because they are an abomination to the Most High. The Most High, I reiterate it every time I can and think about it, the Most High is not a father. I don't care how you read it in the book of Enoch or anything. I used to think that way in all of this. You know, I'm not trying to be meticulous, but this is a time that we have to really iterate and know in our being that God is not a father. A father is one who copulates with a woman. He rears his children. But God is, sometimes he would liken himself unto a father to help your understanding. But God, the I am, is the creator. He created once. He said, multiply after your kind. Woman, you do not create anything. God created you that you might receive the seed of his created man whom you were created for. To bear seed, that it might come forth. You are a nurturer, just like the earth is a nurturer to all life. Therefore, we call it her. God does not have a wife. God is neither male nor female, but God is like the wind which bloweth. This is what God is like. You cannot see him. You will only if he allows you to, but no flesh has ever seen God, not even Moses. All Moses ever saw was just the glory of the Most High. Even in the books where they saw him that sit upon the throne, they just saw an image of light or something. They described it the best way they could in order for other men to understand what they saw. Now, Hezekiah built the high places with his father. Verse 4. He also built altars in the house of the I am. Therefore, he done the thing all over again. Not Hezekiah, but should I say Manasseh. He done it all over again in the house of the I am, whereof the I am said, in Jerusalem shall my name be forever. But he built altars for all the host of heaven in 2 courts of the house of the I am. See, this is why I say this New Testament is paganism. You are pagan. If you believe in Jesus, if you believe in Yahusha, no matter how they try to set it up, this is the biggest deception ever toward the earth. Simply because of Deuteronomy chapter 28. And also, it's also mentioned in many historical books where how that the Romans and Greeks would always try to find something whereby they could control people to do as they bid. And now this has been the most, other than Islam, this has been the most controlling religion, because the Most High never had religion. We see in the 26th chapter of 2 Chronicles that he just told him his whole point. I want to walk among you. I want to be with my creation. Whereby I caused it to be. I want you to and multiply after your kind. I want you to love me as dear children. Not my children, but as children. This is what God is saying. And you can understand why the proverb writer said, my son, my commandments. because he has taken God's law into himself. And he says, God's laws are my laws. God's law should be your law toward your family, your friends, your enemies, and everything else. Now, let's continue. Verse 5, and he built altars for all the hosts of heaven. In other words, this is where you get your Greek contrast at. You got your different gods, your male gods, your female gods. So a female god has a uterus, right? Whether you say they're black or white, they have a uterus and they have their woman time. I put it that way. Yeah, how foolish can you sound? God did not have no relations with Mary, and neither did Joseph. If they married, they were married, period. Else she would have been put to death according to the law for an adulterous woman. And God also says if Joseph laid with her in the field before they got married, he will go to her father and ask her for her hand in marriage. If her father refused, then he will still have to pay the dowry or the bride price because he laid with his daughter. Yes, and many of you women have been shortchanged. You laid with a man somewhere, somehow, and because you believe in Christianity, the man he gets away with bride price. See, the bride price was a way that God have allowed for a woman to keep her virginity. Yes. Because then the bride price is that for the wedding, and the bride price is to say, we thank you how you raised such industrious daughter, beautiful and shapely and everything else. Yes. That's what bride price is about. Many has been deluded in many paganistic things. No, it's not that. It's saying now she's a part of your family, man, and you're going to do the best you can she's going to bear children for you. Yes, this is why this man protects his daughter from the onslaughts of your other young men or men that would come and take that which is precious, not only to her, but to her family. Her virginity. And this is the reason for bride price. If a woman has committed fornication, or should I say adultery out of marriage, there is no bride price for her. She's worthless, really, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm being blunt, plain, and all. Africa, you just got a bad deal. If she's laid with another man, that woman does not deserve a bride price. Neither does her family deserve any, because they did not protect her from her own self or the man that laid with her. He should be made to marry her anyway. This was so. Why do you think they had shotgun weddings and stuff like that? Inside there was this law. Oh, I digress. I can keep going. But either way, let me keep going. I can keep going and just delve into it and show you where these things are already in you and you don't even know it. Being of a paganistic mindset through those 27 books. Yes, you are. Those 27 books, I will say it and say it over and over again, is a lie. You have been taken into a matrix. You cannot come out of it because you cannot see how to come out of it. God cannot show you until you're ready. Now, he built again the high places of Hezekiah his father, and broken down, and he reared up altars for Baalim and made groves and worshipped the host of heaven. And he built altars in the house of the I Am, whereof the I Am said, in Jerusalem shall my name be forever. But he built altars for all the hosts of heaven in 2 courts of the house of the I Am. And he caused his children to pass through the fire. They go to them God again, in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Also he observed times. There go your astrology, your different astrological signs. See, he went back to those things. You Christians are into those things, and some of you Israelites. Yes, it's good to know the future, but God already tells you what the future holds through his prophets. You don't need to know nothing else. And he used enchantments. All these are against the laws. He used witchcraft and dealt with familiar spirits and with wizards, and he wrought much evil in the sight of the I Am to provoke him to anger. In other words, he had other ways. The I Am won't tell me, I don't want to know. Some of you are so pushed toward the occultism and trying to figure out the future because of what you're suffering now, don't you know you are being tested to be blessed it? I'll put that way. That sounds good, don't it? But either way, he says that. He said in verse 7, he set a carved image, an idol which he had made in the house of God, of which God had said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen before all the tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever. He didn't say I didn't want to put, he didn't put no name of Balaam or no, Aries and all this other garbage you will all come up with. No. You got women all day long trying to prophesy. Oh, your time is coming, woman. You cry and call yourself a prophet. You're a prophet liar, is what you are. God is not going to talk to you. He don't even talk to these, Isaiah and all the rest of them every day. How in the world he talk to you every day? You talking of your own spirit. Demons and familiar spirits are talking to you and you don't even know it. Or just because you go to church and read the Bible, that doesn't. Your life is a whole thing about you. If you're not keeping commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws of the Most High, and oh man, you know you just went the wrong way. Now, let's get the way here. He says in verse 8, neither will I any more remove the foot of Israel from out of the land which I have appointed for your fathers. So they will take heed to do all I have commanded them according to the law and the statutes and ordinances by the hand of Moses. This is the law of the Most High. This is not the law of Moses. When you say the law of Moses, you're saying Moses was the one that concocted this thing, and therefore you make yourself a liar. Period. Moses was given these things. He was told these things and told to write. Yes, he was. So Manasseh made Judah and the inhabitants of the Jerusalem to err and to do worse than the heathen whom the I Am had destroyed before the children of Israel. Worse than the Canaanites and all his hordes. You would think that God would drive these evil, wicked, backward people out too. And he did. And the I Am spake to Manasseh and to his people, but they would not hearken. He said prophets. That's how he does it. He said people hollering. We're not supposed to be doing this. Just like today you hear on social media, on the streets and all that. You're not supposed to be doing this. Listen, Judah, Israelites, God's going to turn your butt backwards. Yes, he is. Those who are responsible of it, they have their sentence. They're going to be put out and put down. Yes, they are. And it's coming to pass very fast. But you're going to suffer very greatly. Look at your women. Stop listening to these backwards religious women who say they're prophetess, but are an emissary of the Satans. There is no one Satan. You can say Satans, or you can say demons, or evil spirits, or whatever you want to say, but there is no one that is equal with God. Only God is one. Everything else was created by the Most High. And the I Am spake to Manasseh and to his people, but they would not hearken. Wherefore the I Am brought upon them captains of the host of the king of Assyria. Now he was used as the tool of the Most High. Although God knew that he had his time coming, which took Manasseh among the thorns and bound him with feathers. This is how God's wrath was upon him. Do you not know when you was whipped in chains and torn by dogs and raped and pillaged and everything else? This is the same thing that displayed the wrath of the Most High toward you as it does this man here. They bound him with feathers and carried him to Babylon. They bound you with feathers, and some of you they carried and they marched through the United States as well as South America and Spain and Portugal, even in your own land, to enslave you. That wasn't them. That was the wrath in the Deuteronomy 28 in the Most High and his hatred for the thing that you do and his chastisement upon you. That's what it is. Oh, God is so he let us suffer. It's not, it's God that allowed this thing to happen. You cannot be a judge of who a righteous man is. You're shot in a traffic stop for no reason at all. You cannot judge God and tell him why does he allow this. Look at what you're doing. You turn into a pagan Jesus and Yahushua and Yahusha. Then you turn around and you do those things that are contrary to the words of Most High, and you are pagan. The first commandment is violated all the way around. Have no other gods before me. This thing was also in the time of Adam. And not just exclusive to the children of Israel. The Sabbath was always in the time of Adam. They kept the Sabbath by the new moon. Yes. I don't care whether you're Muslim, Christians, or whatever, you keep the Sabbath by the new moon. And that is done. See, this is why it trips you up, because the new moon changes every month. It changes the day of the Sabbath every month, and it just messes you up. So these people who trying to control you says, we're going to have a set month. We're going to do this for who? Their corporations, their businesses is what they're doing it for. When you do the Sabbath on a Saturday, you're going to the pattern of the heathen, the satanic worshipers, the pagans. Yes, you are. But when you watch it and you watch that new moon, this is the pattern that Enoch showed, that God had given man the sun and the moon that he might number his days. Not only his life, but the times in which God had granted him to worship and to display his thanks or his thankfulness toward the Most High. It's called the new moon, and some of you say, oh, well, it's the full moon. You're a fool. Never the full moon. The full moon is with a full-grown man that is right now is except at age 70 or something like that. At age 35, he's in the fullness of his life. But yet, you would say he's a new man, and a baby is an old man? You fool! That which come out of darkness is new. A car comes out of darkness because the light of it is not shown until it is finished. A plant comes out of darkness when it is a seed until it buds and you see the little bud in the ground. But when a full plant is grown, is there and is ready for almost for the nurturing of those who are to be fed by it. Read the book of Enoch. Some of you just lost it. But either way, now he made Judah and the heavens of Jerusalem to err to do worse than the heathen whom the I Am had destroyed before the children of Israel. And the I Am made Manasseh and his people, but they would not hearken. Therefore the I Am brought upon them the captains of the host of Assyria. Okay, verse 12. When he was in affliction, he besought the I Am his God. See, this is when he got humbled. I can't see you, but now I can see you because I'm hurt. What he was pleasing and who he was pleasing, I don't know. But this was a fool. He besought the I Am his God and humbled himself greatly before the God of his fathers, and prayed unto him, and he was entreated of him, and heard his supplication, and brought him again unto Jerusalem into his kingdom. Then Manasseh knew that the I Am was God. Please. From Moses all the way to Manasseh, he didn't know he was God. God knew his heart. Now after this, he built the wall without the city of David on the west side of Gihon. You'll hear that, the Gihon. The Gihon was one who came, the river flowed out of the city of David, really. In the valley, even into the entering at the fish gate. And compassed about Ophel, and raised it up a very great height, and put captains of war in all the fenced cities of Judah. He took away the strange gods. Yes, even corrected. This is the way God wants you, Israel. This is the way God wants you children of Jacob, who so-called, who deem yourselves children of Jacob. Yes. He wants you this way. He said in Jerusalem and cast them out of the city. In verse 16, he repaired the altar of the I am and the sacrifice thereof, and the peace offering and thank offerings, and commanded Judah to serve the I am God of Israel. See, they picked a king, and the king dictates the status of the people. They the ones asked for it. God give it to them. Nevertheless, the people did sacrifice still in the high places, yet unto the I am their God only. Does that make it right? Let's see. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh and his prayer unto God, and the words of the seers that spake unto him in the name of the I am. So he did send prophets, seers, to confront. And some of you, you get on social media, oh, the Lord said this and that, and those of you in certain countries, them people don't hear you. You take your little lazy self and go on over there and tell them what you think the Lord I am said. Even if it costs your life, you lazy, prophetic nun. Oh, let me quit. But either way, that's just like as being a trucker. We used to hear all them truckers talking that junk behind the CB. But yet you tell them, hey, let's stop this truck and settle this now. Some of them would take you up. Very few. Rare. Lazy, cowards, backwards, and everything else. Simply because they can. Same thing with some enforcement in different municipalities and areas in the world. As long as they have that badge and that projectile weapon, they feel they have all the authority even to lie. And in some countries, they justify their lies. Now, in this prayer unto God, his God, the words of the seers, he spake to them. And behold, are they not written in the book of the kings of Israel? Yes, 1st and 2nd Kings. Now, his prayers also, and how God was entreated of him, that his sins and his trespasses and the places wherein he built the high places, or set up the groves and graven images before he was humbled. Before, are not they reading among the sayings of the seers, the book of Isaiah? Yes, Isaiah was still during this time. And so Manasseh slept with his fathers, and they buried him in his own house, and Amnon his son reigned in his stead. You see the pattern of the kings. They and the children of Israel, or Jacob, or Judah, reflected what the king was doing, except for those who really understood and knew their God. If you do not know his commandments, statutes, and ordinances, you don't know God, period. Some of you go about, oh, it was written this way and that way. You sound like a fool in a dung heap. Your nose is so full of smells that you can't even see or smell the things that the law puts, the sweet smell of the law. And how that he puts things in perspective, and how that the law causes even the stupid, to put it that way, or the simple-minded to become wise. Yes. But we only leave those things of the law up to the judges and law enforcement. Is that right? As far as the law of God. We let the government dictate and change the laws. See, this is where the laws have been changed. Your days, your Sabbaths, and all these things were changed by heathen. Israel never followed no Saturday, should I say, Sabbaths. Never went by the Sabbaths of the new year by no, should I say, this people who was set in the land by another people. Some of you just lost it. You don't use your common sense. But he did that was evil, verse 22, in the sight of the I am, as did Manasseh his father. And Amnon sacrificed unto all the carved images which Manasseh his father had made, and served them. So Manasseh did leave something for him, didn't he? And humbled not himself before the I am, and his father had humbled, as Manasseh his father had humbled himself. But Amnon trespassed more and more. See, God already knew these people were wicked. And he's just trying to show the people that you're still wicked. There's nothing to you. and his servants conspired against him and slew him in his own house. But the people of the land slew all of them that had conspired against King Ammon. And the people of the land made Josiah, his son, king in his stead. Look what happened. He got so God stirred up the people. See, just like Burkina Faso, Mali, and the AES period. God stirred up the people. Somebody was praying and God said enough. This is why you can't win against that African country. You cannot win against it. Because God stands for it, period. It's not because of their Islamic faith. It's because somebody knows the Most High and are standing up in the law, statutes, ordinances of the Most High. And God just shows the men there that the people is whom God cares about. You don't care about no one-man leader. You're Jesus, who never done anything really, just said a few words, died, and they say rose again or whatever. That's all. What did he do? Moses did more than that, and it can be proven. Elijah did more than that, it can be proven. All the prophets of the old, they have done more and showed more, and it can be proven. And they sold you a air biscuit called Jesus, Yahweh, Yahusha. Or you go on with your idolary air biscuit. Oh, God's gonna strike you down. You're talking about? No, you've been brainwashed. That's where you struck down at. Okay. And if we do those things which are right before the Most High, we will have peace.
Walk with me.